Hi guys, White Witch 110 coming to you from the kitchen. No, we're not baking today. Hubby and I are doing a cleaning of the apartment, and right now we have a deep clean on the carpet. So everything is either out on the balcony with him, some of it's in the kitchen with me, the cats are in our bathroom, and a few other things are in front of the front door. So if anybody knocks, they're just gonna have to talk to me through the door. Plain and simple. Hubby's redoing the inside of the shack with the plastic. Every year we get tons of ladybugs here, and this year they decided to invade the shack. They found little cracks somewhere or spaces somewhere to get in, so he's got the vacuum out there, and he's taking all the old plastic off, putting new plastic on. He's got caulking to make sure that we don't have this again. Last year there was no problem with them getting into the shack, don't know why, but this year they decided, hey man, this looks like a good place. Anyways, he's taking care of that. I'm sitting in here. Last night, I just felt so inspired to listen to my ultimate favorite singer in the entire world. That's Alfie Zappacosta. He was originally born in Italy and came over here when he was young with his parents. And he stayed here, and I'm not going to say made his fortune, but made his living working by singing in Canadian cities from coast to coast. Now, I first heard his voice in, let's say, 88, I think, 86? Somewhere around there. Flicking through the stations on the old converter, flicked past our Canadian station, CBC, and whoa, what was that voice? Flicked it back, and there he was on the screen. Instantly, I had such a crush. The voice, the look, perfect. I met him actually at a charity concert that he gave in Toronto for diabetes. His father had passed from that. Met him backstage, got a picture taken with him. The picture seemed to have disappeared a couple of times. Needless to say, I don't have it. If I had been smart and kept the old disc negatives, I could have had one. He also signed a t-shirt from the concert for me. That unfortunately had been left in Toronto when I moved here, and by now it's likely in the trash. Then my friend and I at the time were going to go to Ontario Place to see him, and we had asked the guy next door to her. I had a crush on him. And he said no, he wasn't interested in going to see him, that the guy lived down the street. And we were like, no. And he's like, yeah, honestly. So he calls this kid over. He says, who lives next door to you? He says, Zappacosta. I'm like, no, this can't be. He doesn't live on the street. And I'm thinking all the times that we've been on the street, what the hell? Right? So the kid says, yeah, he teaches me guitar. So I'm like, oh, okay, not that I believe you, but, you know. So this kid lives across from the park, so he says, of course, that's where Alfie is. Now, my friend's nephew had always bothered us to go to the park. Every time we said no, we didn't want to go. So now it's like, okay, let's go to the park. Now he doesn't want to go. So we're saying, no, you're going with us. So we take him down to the park, and we're watching the houses, because, you know, I don't think we were sure which one it was. And then sure as you know what, he walks out the front door with his daughter in his arms. And that's the cats playing. And I am in like total shock now. Like, oh my God. We could have been bringing this kid to the park all this time. He maybe brought his daughter over. We could have been talking all the scenarios in your head and just watched him. And then I think someone was at the door, so I'm going to say it was his wife. And he called out something, and then the daughter went to her. He got in his car and he left. And I said to my friend, we should have asked him for a ride since we're all going to the same place. But he showed up in a limousine, so I'm supposing the record company likely got that, and it looked better to arrive in a limousine. So we got front row seats, just one section over from this tunnel that they come out of. And at that time at Ontario Place, which is down by the waterfront, the stage turned. Gizmo! The stage turned. So before the concert, he came down and stood there with his daughter in his arms. And everybody has their placards, you know, their things, Alfie, I love you, and all that. And this will stay with me forever. He looked at his daughter. I'm even getting emotional here. And he said to her, all of this is for you. That was the most tender moment. And I'm sure that like 98% of the people there didn't even notice or grasp it. But I was so fortunate that I did. So then I did see him once at one of the clubs downtown. I don't remember much of that. And I'm just guessing it's because of the excitement of seeing him that it's just a blur. But since that time, he has always been a very special person to me. At that time also, I was having problems writing, and listening to his voice just opened up the floodgates. So anytime I'm having difficulty writing a certain thing, I'll listen to his music and it'll just flood right out. Great big explanation, I know, and you're bored, but to me it was important. So last night, for whatever reason, I thought, oh, I want to listen to his songs. So I had YouTube up on the TV. I turned it to my playlist with all his songs and started listening, and it just started coming out. Now, if any of you have listened to me read my series I wrote on the cabin, this will somewhat sound familiar because it basically is almost 4 pages of the cabin in a nutshell, so to speak. So now that I've bored you to tears, I'll read you what I wrote last night. She heard the familiar voice that took her straight back to the 80s. She was young and he was amazing. They were both full of energy, of love. She then recalled the dreams that were shattered like candy glass, the pain carved deep into her innocent heart. Another song, another time, another heartache. The attraction stronger than ever. A lust for life so vivacious it consumed them both. A profound love that continued to tear them apart just as much as it brought them together. The evening spent in feverish passion, the attentive touch of his hand to her skin, the cherished words whispered as they made love. Years have passed, and the fire within continues to endure. Hang on. The pain, a sub-rhythm. His hair now white, hers gray, their skin a little saggy, but their hearts beat of youth. They remember the beginning of it all, and time wasted, the hunger still needing to be fed. Her eyes filled with tears for a devotion that seized her heart all those years ago. Tears of a longing few could truly understand. The tilt of his head as he sings, his body moving to the music in his soul, his rich voice a blessing to her ears. She said 1,000,000 times. He reached inside my chest and took my heart. No one else has meant as much to me as he does, without his knowing who I was. The connection was there. She heard it in the lyrics. Come lay down beside me and smother me in your passion once again. Her words requested without pleading. His eyes seen through the layers to who she was. His lips turned a seductive smile. No need for a verbal response, they knew. She led him by the hand to her bed. The years fell away. They were young once more. Walks on rocky beaches, the crisp wind cleansing emotions, the smell of pines and falling leaves. They sat under a full moon, accepting all her riches, at peace with each other. They could genuinely rest. As much as they grew apart, they grew together. Their journey a love story, still being written on lined paper somewhere close by. The music drives him, the intensity drives her. As her eyes became heavy with sleep and her thoughts jumbled, he kissed her forehead. He was blessed the day they met. The moment they spoke, he was off and running for her. The prize, the spark, the first I love you, the first kiss, first hug, first dance, first home. Like his first song, first contract, first concert, first paycheck. Though none compared to the first vowel uttered that magical day. His suit fit right, his words memorized, her gowned, her glowing, her hand in his. The world and its chaos slipped away into the ocean of they didn't care. It was them and a preacher no one else required. Blue cotton sheets, a view of the mountains, a cool summer breeze, moments in time so precious. The honor of being his wife, companion to his story. She glowed. He had chosen her from among a throng of women at his disposal. Even through their self-destruction, inside she cried. Amid the toxic conversations, she cherished every fiber of him. It tore her to shreds walking away. Hearing his voice, seeing his face, realizing what they had left behind, erased momentarily the anger. Lost and alone, they sat miles apart, neither jubilant with the state of their lives. Being under a microscope hadn't been effortless. He understood the pressure. She didn't see the depth until it was over her head. He made thousands happy, but only one was important, and she was miles away. They came together on neutral ground. As before, the years and pain melted away. They were tired of living a lie. Being apart was more than either could bear. There was no rolling under cotton sheets. There was no seduction. There was nothing deeply physical. It was two people speaking truthfully about life without the other. Tears shed, hugs of comfort, not expecting anything else. There was time for the passion, emotions patched, their hearts glad to be together once again. Their love as pure as his voice, a blessing to them both. They dance on a rocky beach, connecting with a freedom few experience. Together, they belt out the love song written on lined pages somewhere close by. I hope you enjoyed that. Even reading it now, I'm extremely happy with how that turned out. Which normally stuff I write, I am extremely critical. And I was looking not to rip any pages out of this book that I bought, but I have. First I thought, no, I'll just staple them together, put a big X, but no, I have. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other stories that I've written in this one that you'll get to hear at some point along the line. Thank you for joining me today, my YouTube family. I trust you've all had a great Thanksgiving and that you're likely still recuperating today. So enjoy yourself. And like I always say, thank you for coming by. Each of you means so much to me. You really do. Those are not empty words. And if you're new to my channel, just dropping by, please feel free to check out my other videos. There may be something else that you'll find that interests you. And if it does, please give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and share it out. That's always appreciated. And while you're here, consider becoming a subscriber. And if you do subscribe, think about clicking that notification bell so that you'll know the next time that I upload. It's a sunny Saturday here in Ottawa, but it is cold. When hubby runs an errand and comes home and says it's cold, it's cold. He said, it's a good thing I didn't go. And I said, see, I don't always have to go with you when you go to do this stuff, because sometimes it's faster for you, because he's a very quick walker. I'm not. So, have a great rest of your Saturday. And until the next time, as always, ciao for now.